Hi, this is Felice Sloan with Swanky Maven.
I'm David Leftwich, editor of Edible Houston and associate editor at Houston Food Finder.
I'm Eric Sandler, editor for Culture Map.
The Full Menu is a production of Houston Public Media with support from Central Market.
So we know that Houston is a brunch city, right? We can all agree on that. Is Houston a breakfast city? Because some people say they're the same. Right?
Well, no. First of all, they're obviously not the same.
They're
Breakfast
not the
is
same.
breakfast is simpler. Breakfast is less expensive. Breakfast is faster. And to that point, we're not even going to talk about sit-down breakfast today. That like leisurely weekday treat. No, we're talking about breakfast to go.
Well, you know, girls like me may want to sit down breakfast because, you know, I'd like to do work and all that. So we're going to mix it up a little bit.
All right. Well, give people an efficient breakfast, not necessarily to go breakfast, but for a woman on the go such as yourself.
Well, okay, I'm going to start out with an efficient, quick breakfast that maybe not so quick, that all of us like, that we can talk about. Emma.
Well, you can make it quick, too.
You can. That's correct.
You can, because it's on my list, because if you go from 7 to 10 during the weekday, they don't have their full kitchen, grab one of their excellent pastries and a coffee and walk out the door.
Right. Emma is two different restaurants. There's Weekend Emma with tough, difficult parking and a huge line out the door. That is not a quick breakfast. Emma, Tuesday at 8 a.m., you're in and out in 5 minutes.
Correct. And that's when I usually go, or even if I'm not out in 5 or 10 minutes, like I saw David recently there, and I had my pastries and all that, and I had work to do. So I had my computer, but there were other people posted up doing the same thing. So I like places like that, right? I can grab something and then stick around, have my latte. If I want another pastry, I can get another pastry.
All right. Well, I'm going to pivot and give us a bakery and a coffee shop that doesn't have any seating at all, other than a couple of outdoor tables, and that is Eadough, Eadough, not far from Nancy's Hustle, which we haven't talked about here recently. So there's your full menu Nancy's Hustle reference. Anyway, but it's in the East End. It's basically a kiosk that sells coffee and pastries, really outstanding blueberry muffins. I love their chocolate chip cookies. I'll get a croissant or two. They have some hot options. They've got kolaches. They do a couple of lunch items. I know they do a smash burger. And good coffee, you know, all the usual espresso drinks, drip coffee, whatever. And it's designed for to-go. It services that hike and bike trail that kind of runs through the east side. And so it's very quick and very convenient.
Well, I'm going to go to a place, for me, a quick breakfast almost always means also good coffee. Not always, and I'm going to go one that during the week it's quick, during the weekend it can be a little slower, and that's the Kolache Shop. And they do have 3 locations. There's one in the Heights, which has a convenient drive-through. There's one in Pearland, and then there's the original on Richmond, kind of in the Greenway area. And they have excellent kolaches. They do like a brisket kolache with smoked brisket from Pinkertons. They do monthly specials. Sometimes they collaborate with people like Burger Chin and Fat Eatery. And like last month they had a Boudin kolache that was a special. And they combine that. They get their coffee from Boomtown and do excellent coffee drinks. So you can get a iced coffee, iced latte, a Vietnamese cold brew. So it's kind of the whole package. When you can either go in, you can do, I'm not sure if every location has a drive. I don't think the Richmond does. I'm not sure about the Pearland one, but the Heights one does have a drive-through, which again can be very convenient during the week.
I'm going to go Dandelion Cafe because I go there a lot, and I do both. I'll grab one of the things. I love their latte because they do seasonal lattes, and they rotate and have cool flavors. And I will, if I'm sitting in, I may get the chicken and waffles because, they won an award for that. Pretty tasty. Or I'll get like a salmon sandwich or egg sandwich. So I love going there, but I love to have a communal table for people like me that are going to post up and do work and things like that. So,
but you can
have
also
2 locations there too now.
And you can get out of there pretty quick because you can get coffee. They have decent pastries, and if you want to just grab their breakfast tacos and have 5 minutes to wait while they make them.
Right, and they have a new location, and it's not brand new, but they have a second location that they opened in the Heights recently. So.
David, since you mentioned breakfast tacos, I mean, that is obviously the default breakfast option for
Yes.
Houstonians who want a quick breakfast. And there are just, every time we do this, I think about new places and established places, conscious of the idea that there are people who could be listening to this segment for the first time or could be new to Houston. And so let me just say the words Via Arcos on navigation in the Second Ward. This is the classic consensus favorite Houston old school breakfast taco spot. Incredibly fluffy flour tortillas, the way they cook the eggs, the efficiency of the service. This is the place to go. I introduced a friend to this very recently, a longtime Houstonian who had never been there before. So, Via Arcos, Via Arcos, Via Arcos.
What about Brothers Taco House? That's
on
going
my
to be
list.
another one that people get intimidated by the line. They will move that line very quick. They are true to this, not new to this. And the tacos are stellar.
Well, I'm gonna go with another kind of older school breakfast taco place, but Sunrise Taquito,
Yes.
off of Memorial. It's next to it's in a Shell station or right next to a Shell station. Excellent breakfast tacos. Now it can be a little bit like you may have to wait 5 minutes because they do cook the eggs to order. And there's 3 ladies in there who are like making the tortillas fresh. They're making the eggs fresh, but excellent breakfast tacos.
Well, and then the other one that we have to do is Laredo Taqueria on Washington Avenue, another of these kind of staple Houston breakfast taco destinations. And while I'm here, just to make all the foodies mad, the best thing at Torchy's are the breakfast tacos. So they're open every morning. They're all over the place.
I
Like,
would agree.
you could do worse.
So newer places that people don't think about, the taco stand does breakfast tacos. They're solid. I like their breakfast tacos. I think they can compete.
Well, and Cantina Barba does really good breakfast tacos. I think that's the best tacos they do, and they do this barbacoa one. Now, the one caveat, they do not open till 9 a.m., but then they serve breakfast tacos till 2 a.m. So, if you're a late riser, you want a late breakfast, but a quick one, and you can get good breakfast tacos at Cantina Barba.
All right, so we've done the breakfast taco conversation. I think the other very common breakfast option is donuts, and so we really can't talk about donuts in Houston without talking about Shipley. Obviously, they started in Houston. They are all over the place. I think it's just when those plain glazed are hot, there is no better donut on earth as far as I'm concerned. When I'm feeling like I want to indulge a little bit, that apple fritter that's like kind of like brown sugar, like it's like a little mini apple pie, that is a treat yourself opportunity. And then just out of respect for a Montrose institution, let me mention Christie's Donuts on West Gray and Montrose. This has been around forever. I just kind of look at the pastry case and get, a glazed, a chocolate frosted, a kolache or two, maybe one of those biscuits that they do, and always donut holes, because they give you a couple, and that makes me want more. So I get like a half a dozen donut holes along with it.
Sometimes you can get your windshield repaired while you're there.
They serve multiple needs.
Well, I'm going to go to, if we're into pastries, one kind of slightly more upscale pastry option is Red Dessert Dive. They have 2 locations. They have a brand new location in the Goof on 34th Street. But, if you're looking for the decent coffee, but if you're looking for sometimes the scones or muffins at some of the coffee shops, or, they're all coming from the same, they're okay, but they have very good scones. They have very good muffins and some other breakfast items. They change it daily. They're baked fresh on site. And so if you're kind of looking for that kind of quick pastry-focused breakfast, there's 2 locations for that.
Yeah, I just went to the Oak Forest location for the first time last weekend. It is beautiful, and it's big, and it's the Heights one is little
Tiny, yeah.
and teeny, and this one is gorgeous. They did a great job.
Staying on the pastries, all things croissants. We have to mention Love Croissants. Absolutely amazing. You talk goat cheese croissants, and it's look. Before I start saying some favorites, if you go to their Instagram, they're always playing with something new. They're having fun with it. Like, oh, what about this? And then it becomes a hit, and it goes on a special or a menu. So if you are a croissant person, I'm like their regular, just the butter croissants, goat cheese, they have raspberry, absolutely delicious.
Well, since we are kind of talking about, since we're on pastries and similar to Emma in terms of kind of how you want to strategize to do it as cafeteria, again, you can have a sit down. You know, there's some of their pastries or more that they make to order. You have to, but you can also pop in there, especially during the week, and get some excellent, ready to go pastries right there and good coffee.
Yeah, the Danish, the beef kolache, this chocolate chip cookie is really great. Coffee's good. Get that salty Cambodian It's a very delicious coffee drink. The only other croissant that I wanted to mention is Magnol. This is up kind of in the east end of Spring Branch, that kind of extended Lazy Brook Timber Grove area, and classically French trained chef. I mean, I think they're some of the best croissants in the city, and they have all the other kind of French pastries. They have eclairs, they have tarts, they have cookies. Like they have, and they have coffee. Like I'm not going to say it's the best coffee in Houston, but it works for those purposes. So maybe take your pastries to go and then go get coffee somewhere else. Just as a Jewish person in Houston, I don't feel like I could do this segment and not mention bagels. There's a few now, right? There used to only be 3. Hot Bagel Shop on Shepherd, Bagel Shop Bakery. They have 2 locations, one in Bel Air and one kind of on Hillcroft in the Meyerland area, and then Bagel Express, which is out in Sugar Land, but also supplies the bagels to Kenny and Ziggy's, so you can get that close to the loop. More recently, there's Bagel Bob's. He just opened his new location on North Post Oak. Bob is from New York. He knows what he's doing. And then if you're out to 90, Jersey Bagels is very good, and a place that is not like in my regular rotation, but they do a great job, and so is worth mentioning here.
I'm going to say one that we did not mention that I always stop at wherever side town I'm on, and Common Bond. We have Common Bonds everywhere, and even though they've branched out, they still have great chocolate chip cookies, great croissants. Like, they still have those real quick grab and goes, and then you can also sit and do breakfast there if you want.
I'm going to give a shout out to a vegan bakery and breakfast spot that is Sinful Bakery. You can actually find their stuff at a lot of coffee shops around town, but they also have their own brick and mortar. I mean, it's worth just going for their cinnamon bun, which is rich and dense and tasty, but they also have, a bunch of other vegan options, at their actual brick and mortar location in Midtown. So if you're vegan, have vegan friends. Even if you're not vegan, if you just want a good, solid breakfast, either sitting in or grabbing to go, it's definitely an option. And look for their stuff at other coffee shops as well.
All right, and then the last one for me, just because I feel like we should be honest about what Houstonians like to eat for breakfast, and that is getting in the drive-thru at Whataburger and getting either a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit, a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, or a honey butter chicken biscuit. Shout out to Whataburger. Thanks for doing what you do.
Hi, this is Felice Sloan with Swanky Maven.
I'm David Leftwich, editor of Edible Houston and associate editor at Houston Food Finder.
I'm Eric Sandler, editor for Culture Map, and you're listening to Houston Matters with Craig Cohen.